Welcome to episode 31 of the Career Breakthrough Series. Our guest today is an international business and success coach, wealth mentor, and inspirational speaker, all rolled into one amazing package. And that amazing package is Vanessa Shaw. Vanessa is both applauded by her clients and admired by her peers, has a huge passion in life for teaching entrepreneurs and leaders how to step up, be bold, and play bigger in their business and personal lives. She noticed that from a young age, family and friends would come to her with their problems, and she'd have a great way of building rapport with people and helping them break through these barriers. Throughout Vanessa's career, she's worked with the World Economic Forum, KPMG, Oracle, the Global Fund, London-based law firm Cameron McKenna, Sandler Training, and many other professional service providers. Originally from the UK and lived most of her life in Europe, Vanessa has also worked for the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland, and held multiple senior leadership roles within International Coach Federation at both the Swiss and global level. I'm so excited to have Vanessa on the show, and we had such an amazing interview. She's such an easy person to talk to and shares some incredible advice with you guys. So let's get started on the interview. Guys, welcome to another episode of the Career Breakthrough Series. Today's guest, I'm so excited to have on, all the way from Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm talking about Vanessa Shaw. So Vanessa is a business and success coach. She has spoken in front of thousands of people and really helped change the lives and businesses of many people worldwide. She's an inspirational speaker. And just from what we were talking about then, she's created an amazing brand coming over from Europe to the States. Vanessa, thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show. I'm so proud to have you on and so happy to have you on. I know it's been a bit of back and forth for us, but I'm really excited to share your journey.
Oh, no, me too. Thanks for having me. And it's always, when we have to coordinate these things internationally, it's always a challenge with time zones, but we made it happen. So that's the most important thing.
Exactly. Well, Vanessa, if you could just give my audience a bit of background into basically what your upbringing was like for you growing up, and what were some of your biggest influences to lead you in the path of entrepreneurship?
Gosh, that's a great question, because that's what I often talk about. It's in fact, the influences really weren't there growing up. I think we either had the influences that help us to build something, or we kind of go against what we grew up with. So in my case, I grew up in a very kind of professional environment. My mum was a local teacher, junior school teacher, and then she went on to be like like an advisor in the education service. And my stepfather, who's been very figural in my life, was the local GP and doctor. So you can imagine teacher and doctor in the community, very professional. Life was about working hard to go on vacations, to sort of build a life that you would then retire from later on and in theory live happily ever after.
Exactly.
So that was kind of my background, and I think the person that was an influence, although not directly, and again I'm still very close with him today, was my uncle, who I saw as a child growing up, like always successful, pushing the boundaries on his own career, and then setting himself up in business, and really being very entrepreneurial. And for the limited time I would have with him on like vacations and things and just family time, I was always thinking, how is he doing what he's doing, and how is he living, like creating and living the life that they're living? So that was very much the kind of background of growing up. But I mean, I'm a really slow learner, Paul. So it took me years, decades to probably turn that all around into, creating my own business. But when I look back, that was certainly the backdrop of, where I came from.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that, Vanessa. And it's funny, like I know one of the biggest things I always go on about is, the influence of others, and obviously how powerful that can be in a positive way or in a negative way. I mean, a lot of clients that I've worked with myself have, these negative influences from others pushing onto them, where these other people want them to live the life that they want, not what they want for themselves. So, yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Vanessa, I'd love to touch a bit more on your business. As I said, just speaking off camera before about the amazing transition that you've made. I think it's quite incredible, jumping to a new country and, starting a business over there. It's such a big, challenging thing. So, I'd love to find a little bit more about the amazing work and business that you've got. I know you're quite a big inspirational speaker and have spoken in front of thousands of people. So, yeah, I'd love to find out some more about it.
Yeah, so for sure. So again, I think, sometimes I teach my clients about, we have to change environment to be really fully self-expressed. And, just sometimes we really do need that big shift. And I certainly felt that I wanted that, 5 years ago, and I sold up everything in Europe. We were very well established in Switzerland. I had 2 kids in school. We had a property. We'd been there for many, many years. I'd actually lived in Switzerland for 21 years and then said, hey, I'm ready to kind of like throw it all up in the air, start again from scratch. And I want to go on another adventure. The truth is, at the time I was working like as a corporate coach, mainly executive coaching. And I was working with top performers to help them take, their business, their life to the next level, and helping them make really big, bold moves in their lives and move across the planet, set up businesses elsewhere. And I honestly had to take a real hard look in the mirror and say, wow, where are you not walking your talk? Here you are, the coach, teaching others to do this and coaching them to do it, but really, what's your own life doing? And that was when I basically set out to create my own big, bold adventure, and was like, I'm not going to settle. I was early 40s at the time, and I just felt like I was settling and life had become very predictable. So what better than to kind of like shake it all up, right? And the story is, I got my husband, Robert, on board to move, which should have been like a 3-year transition plan. Because for most people, like leaving one continent and going to another, particularly when you've got family, is a bit more complex than just saying, okay, we're going to do it now. And I got him on board, and we'd made this 3-year transition plan that felt like it made sense because the kids would be at a certain age. He was going to be finishing up his career in the United Nations. And I got back to Europe. We'd been traveling at the time, and I was like, there's no way I can wait 3 years. Yep. So within 11 months, I had sold up everything, like basically finished my business there, closed down my business, got my kids out of schools that they would never get back into because, the waiting list was so long. And we landed in Scottsdale, Arizona, actually in a dust storm. That's it was a massive dust storm. I was telling this story the other day on stage. It was like, we landed in Phoenix Airport, this massive, they call it a haboob over here, like this, coming over the mountains. I was like, what is that? As we're landing in Phoenix Airport, and they actually closed the airport after we landed. It was the worst storm of the year. So I said, that's how I landed here. And actually, my husband, because I'd hurried things to be here, he was back in Europe for 2 years. So we actually did he did a really long distance commute. We would see each other about once every 6 weeks because I was just committed to, we're going for it, the adventure. I'm going to get settled here. I'm going to network. I'm going to start to build this new business. So it's a very long backstory to kind of say at that point there was a lot at stake. I turned so many things upside down. I felt like there was a lot, resting on my shoulders to make things work. And so that's when I really went through the process of, well, what is it I really, really want to be doing? What do I feel really passionate about? And I knew that whilst I've been doing a lot of corporate coaching in Europe, that really, my heart wasn't in it. Yep. That wasn't what I wanted to replicate and carry on. So that was at that point that I shifted to the small business market and working with entrepreneurs. And honestly, I just think that's where my heart is, frankly, because I am one. Yeah. I understand the challenges intimately. And I'm just really passionate about changing the face for, those really micro business owners and helping them build the life and business of their dreams, which is ultimately what we do. Our tagline for the company is be bold, play bigger. And that came out of, that move of me, going through a branding process and saying it was all about me making this bold move and wanting to play a bigger game. And all of a sudden we went, oh my gosh, that's it. It's be bold, play bigger. And that's really what we stand for as a company.
That's perfect. Thanks so much for sharing that. That's what an incredible journey. And I think seeing that sandstorm, I would have been like, what have we done here?
I know, it was definitely freaky. I was just like, what is this?
Yeah.
Seriously. There were a few moments of what have I done here? Believe me.
I can imagine. So Vanessa, I'd love to touch on what do you think are some of the biggest mental roadblocks you've had to overcome? I know that's probably a massive one, obviously moving countries and starting fresh. But what do you think would be some of your other biggest ones you've overcome?
So, and this is, I really speak from the perspective of being an entrepreneur, right, and in business. I would honestly say that prior to going on this journey of, being in my own business, I really wasn't even thinking about Roadblocks. I think so incredibly different. I'm really a completely different person. So much more conscious, so much more aware. But one of my big roadblocks that I've had to navigate and overcome, and I kind of teach my clients to do the same, is about actually around my own relationship with money. Yeah. Because going into business for myself, I was all about passion and making a difference, and I just want to touch people's lives, which is very coachy, and lots of coaches want to do that. But then completely neglecting, like if I'm in business, I've got to be in business and think about money and profitability and numbers and be serious, right? Really be serious about what I'm doing. So that was massive. I mean, at one point, that's back in Europe, I, nearly found myself going bankrupt, which was my lesson of, pay attention. So that's been massive. It's an ongoing journey. I'd say we're never ever done with that, but really shifting my mindset around the amount I am able to generate in my business. We're about to break, $1 million in revenue.
Wow, that's amazing. Congrats.
Kind of like amazing when I even say it, especially like working from home. I mean, here are my home office. Before we started, you saw my dog in here. I'm actually sitting here in my shorts and flip flops, and I'm truly like living the life that I wanted to, and I've got the business that I wanted, and going across that $1 million mark is something that only 2% of women will ever do. So it feels like a huge milestone. So that was the whole piece around, my mindsets around, how much can I really charge, my mindset around money, about receiving at higher levels, and then being conscious about who I wanted to become in that process. And to be mindful that, I wasn't going to become a complete idiot and shallow and selfish and some of those other things that I've had to, deal with along the way. So I would say some of those were, big. Some of the other things that I talk about a lot with my clients as well, and this is one of those harsh sides of like success, is the people you have to leave behind, the people that won't be on the journey with you. And I think that's just something, not many of us like to talk about, yet we see it so many times. As you start to change, there are people that will feel insecure around you, feel threatened by that new level of success or whatever it is you're creating, just the fact that you change. I mean, I lost people when I moved to the States because as I moved, it's causing them to question their own lives, right? And if they feel really uncomfortable with that, then one of the ways that happens is people disconnect, or they project their stuff onto you and kind of make you wrong or blame you. So I think that's been, in the early days, that used to really hurt, and I, used to take it very personally. But again, it's understanding now that it's such a part of the process. And honestly, what I've really seen as well, I've been in business for 11 years, is that even if you are losing people on that journey, it's always opening up the space for new people to come in.
That's right.
So, whilst there has been that loss, there's been just incredible places where it's like, wow. And who would have known? It's like opened up the space, literally for new people to come into my life. But I think those are kind of, there have been tons of different like mindset shifts I've had to make, but those stand out as two pretty significant ones.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for sharing. They're really powerful takeaways, especially the first one you said about money. That's one of the big ones I'd have to overcome myself as well. I think, obviously when we all start business, we really struggle with, having that confidence and security in ourselves and believing in ourselves. I think that was a big one for me. But also that belief in myself was I was undercharging or giving away a lot for free, until one of my good friends, who really tells it how it is, said to me, Paul, you're in business. Cash flow is king. You need to have cash flow coming into your business, and you need to up your prices as well. And first of all, I started thinking, oh no, like I can't do that. Nobody will pay for what I want. Then, helping people with their careers. But it's true. Now I attract a better quality of client. It's always up and down, and, for the past month's been really slow. But, I know that when I get a client in, I get a higher figure coming in now, which is a lot better for my business. So, yeah, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, and that's exactly, in fact, what we teach. And it's kind of like what I learned in that process. That's what we teach our clients. We actually have part of a program that we call the high-end advantage, which is precisely that, right? It's really positioning yourself to be able to attract those higher end clients. And by that, I mean that they've just got a mindset of investing in themselves. They're going to be willing to do the work. They're going to take responsibility, right? And of course, they're going to be willing to pay those higher fees. And as you rightfully said, you know, they end up getting better results. They're typically a joy to work with. And, you know, yes, you only have to do, you know, less marketing and less transactions for those clients compared to if you're undercharging or giving away for free, then you're on this rat race that you can just never get ahead of. And I think it's a trap that many service-based business owners fall into, is that, you know, undercharging, over-delivering and under-earning, you know, and they're getting completely burnt out in the process.
Exactly. That's so true. So Vanessa, I'd love to touch on, I know you specialize with a lot of leadership and peak performance as well, and getting people or businesses into a new state or to break through that glass ceiling. So what would be 3 to 5 actionable tips do you really think have helped you or helped out your clients to potentially be a better leader or to be the best version of themselves where they can achieve more?
Gosh, these are such good questions. I kind of get, oh gosh, how long have we got?
Oh, I'm all ears. I love it. I love speaking.
I love these questions. I mean, I think about even frankly something today. I'm, you know, thinking about what's fresh in my mind and what we've been teaching in our program today. I decided I teach like a mindset call to our clients every single month. So it's something for them to take deeper and really reflect on. And I was just in a place today of thinking about, well, not today, but, you know, this past week of really thinking about blame and the role that plays in keeping us stuck or playing small and, like, you know, going into victim mentality. So a big part of what we're teaching in terms of really helping people take their lives and business to the next level is this introspection. It's really looking at, like, where do they get in their own way? Where have they got to be really honest with themselves? And so today that was one, you know, and it's a difficult conversation to have. I mean, there were quite a few tears. There've been quite a few people reporting, you know, accountability and breakthroughs of, like, oh my gosh, I've just realized where I'm blaming, you know, my ex-husband, or I'm blaming the environment, or I'm blaming the town I live in, or I'm blaming, you know, not enough time. I mean, just crazy stuff, or somebody else, or my kids, right? And that's getting in my way of success. So we teach a lot around just personal responsibility. And one of those pieces today was, I said, you can't be, when you start to realize that you are creating your own success, and there's always a gap, right? You know, and you have seen it yourself in business, kind of get those clients, you get some traction, and then you go, ooh, gosh, can I really do this? Like, can I do this again? Or was this a fluke, and was this luck, right? And it's like these mindset games. But then you get into a place where you start to get more consistent and you know what you're doing and you can set goals and achieve them and, like, take it to the next level. And you've got to start to realize that, you know, you're creating that, which makes you feel very empowered. And that's what I was teaching today, is like the flip side of that coin is, you know, we can't be seeing that we're creating our own successes if we can't see that we're creating our own messes as well. So that, like, personal responsibility and accountability, I think, is one in terms of, like, real personal leadership. And that's about being honest. You know, it's about being honest with ourselves. It's about also being honest with what we want, what those goals are, and, like, really going for what we want. So that for me is another key lesson. It's not to go for what we think we can get or what we think we deserve. But it's really like what's in your heart, for what you really want to create. Not an easy question to answer, but we can always start that with, you know, just what do we know right now? What do we know for the next 6 months? You know, start on smaller levels so that then we can, like, build that muscle. So I think, as I say, those are personal responsibility, honesty. There is no way that, as well, you can achieve success without being in the right community and having the right mentors. I mean, and I know as a coach that always sounds self-serving, but it's the truth, right? It's absolutely the truth. Definitely. I have invested hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I really mean hundreds of thousands of dollars, in my own coaching and mentoring and getting qualified in the first place, and continue to do so because that mindset is fragile. Yep. And you go back so quickly. And we all know this to be true. You know, we all know when we go on a healthy living regime, or we're finally going to be a better partner or a better this, right? It's so easy to go back. But if we've got that accountability and the right community and people that frankly are ahead of us in that game and on that journey that we want to be on, it's going to keep stretching. And I think that's just so important. You know, I think it was Jim Rohn that said is it the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with? Definitely. So it's kind of like, make sure that they're peak performers, that they're earning a lot, that they're, making a big contribution. So community is key. I would say the other thing is, this one is sort of a double-edged sword, but it's like we've got to keep it in the healthy place, is be committed to continual learning and improvement. It's ongoing. So I'm always looking at, okay, how can we improve upon this? How can I be better than what I just did? How can I improve my performance? As I say, the double-edged sword to that is sometimes it can just feel like it's never enough, right? So we've got to be careful that we're keeping it in a healthy place, and I think celebrating the successes and the milestones and building on that. But if we're committed to that journey of ongoing growth and development, then we acknowledge that it's never going to be perfect, and that the journey is about learning and building on so-called failings and mistakes. And for me, that works really well, because then I can kind of go, okay, I'm not a failure. I just didn't know, about something, and that's a new skill or an area for me to look at. So I think I probably gave you a good 4 meaty ones there.
Yeah, definitely. That was some really great takeaways. Guys, go back and have a listen to that. That was some really, really great takeaways that Vanessa just shared. I think that, such powerful things too. Especially, I think the biggest one I can relate to is definitely, having that network of people surrounding you. I think that's one of the things I love about the podcast is obviously connecting with incredible people like yourself. And obviously I try and help out a lot of my guests to connect with other incredible people. And quite a few of them have gone and done projects together or different things together. So having those sort of people who are, where you want to get to, or at a different level or offer different skill sets is really, really great to help move you forward.
And just to be in the conversation, right? I get it. We do quite a lot of podcasts. It's been one of our marketing strategies this year, just to get the word out. And I love this, right? It's really easy. I sit at home in my office, have a great conversation. It's stimulating. Yeah. But I love what you said there, Paul. It's just about even being in the conversation is inspiring.
Definitely.
So that's the piece. You can be in that conversation. Of course, then, you've got to get beyond inspiration and get into implementation, actually look at what we can take from that and actually put it into action. But if we're not in that community, we're not even in the conversation to start with.
Exactly. And I think it's so true what you said as well. I know one of the biggest ones like I was saying to you before, having good friends or good mentors who are telling you what you need, not what you want. I think that's one of the biggest ones where they're not just, blowing smoke up your ass or anything like that. They're actually telling you what you need to move your business forward, or if something's not working to pivot on that or try a different direction or something.
Totally. Yeah. Good, honest feedback, right? Yeah. That might be tough to hear, but we need it, and we need it when we get to a certain level as well. It's just we really need that. Yeah, as you say, I love that, not blowing smoke up your backside, because they're so no, I don't want to hear great, I don't want all the syrupy stuff. Give it to me real, because I want to take it to the next level.
Exactly. So Vanessa, I'd love to know, obviously you've done a lot of keynotes and presentations and worked in corporate as well, or worked for corporate as well. So what would you say are some of the biggest highlights or the greatest achievements that you've got through working there or speaking in front of thousands of people?
Gosh. Great question again. So actually, I never really had a corporate career as such. I was a corporate coach. So that's interesting in and of itself, is that I was a corporate coach without ever having had a corporate background. So I think that's quite cool and interesting. Definitely. And it meant that I just came from the outside and realized now that I thought a lot differently than they did. So I was really coming as that objective outsider. I have to say, from a career perspective, one of my highlights was I actually worked for the United Nations for about 7 years. Wow. When I first went to Switzerland. So something not many people ask about. It feels like it was another life. And whilst there were lots of different learnings from that time, a lot of them were around what I didn't want to do, frankly, because it's very bureaucratic and red tape and slow moving. One of the highlights I had was when I was working for the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, and it was in the war in Sarajevo, and I was actually the coordinator in the airlift. We're inside of a military airlift in headquarters in Geneva, coordinating the planes into Sarajevo to medevac people in and out and get the press in and out. And that does it always stands out as like it was so impactful. It was tough as well, because there were some really sad things that we were dealing with, but it was real, right? It was really real and kind of helping. It was even part of the humanitarian airlift, it was actually called. So that was a real highlight. Another highlight, and again, I think my highlights are probably really different to other people's. I'm kind of laughing now going, gosh, I'm a bit of a rebel. And I didn't perhaps realize it at the time, but 6 months into my career, I was working in London. I was working in a very male-dominated industry. I was working in insurance, Lloyd's of London, and thinking I wanted to follow my big brother's footsteps. And he's been a city slicker in London for, most of his life. And I hated it. I was absolutely miserable.
Oh, no.
The fact that I only tolerated it for 6 months and basically walked out, I'm actually really proud of that. I didn't stick around. I was like, this isn't working. And I worked out my exit plan. And in fact, my exit plan was to go to Geneva, Switzerland. So it was a pretty good exit plan.
Definitely.
So as a career move, as a career highlight. And in fact, I even have a similar story when I was in UN and I was working for somebody who just was, becoming a real bully. And I was very young, but again, I got to the place of I'm no longer tolerating this, and I just walked out. I was like, I don't care. I'm not going to tolerate this, and I'm not going to stand for it. So I think the lessons for me there is, for me personally, is I don't have to be a victim. When I'm really not liking something, and it's just not working, I'll give it as much as I can. I'm not somebody that gives up easily, but then I'm like, no, this no longer is making sense. It feels unhealthy. I'll walk. And whenever I've walked, there's always been a much better opportunity. And then frankly, highlight, I think honestly, of my career, I would say was then, really turning it all around, coming to the States, launching my speaking career here, starting a business from scratch when I didn't know anybody, and just totally creating a business that was really on my terms. When I was in Europe, I was still kind of playing the corporate coach game and feeling like, I always started to look like them after a while. And I could see that, my authentic self was getting dumbed down. I was kind of feeding into their culture a bit. And so really saying, no, this is it. It's on my terms now. And that's been, hugely gratifying, I think is the word, satisfying and gratifying.
Definitely. I think that's so amazing. As I said, you should be really proud of yourself because, a lot of people, especially obviously working as a career counselor or a career coach, I see a lot of people who've been in these jobs, they're so miserable. Like they've been there year after year after year. And you just go, why? Like you can achieve so much or anything out of you really want out of your life. Like, but a lot of people just don't know where to start or how, or they don't want to take that first step out of fear. So I think that's incredible that you've actually achieved all that, Vanessa, where you've recognized that you're miserable, you recognize it's not being your authentic self and actually moved on. That's a great learning and it just shows your mindset and your persistence as well. So
thank you. Yeah, and it's like at the time, I'm not saying it's easy, right? It's never, of course we have to walk through a lot of fear, and tap into courage to do so. But certainly for me, messages that I would put out there is, there really are other options.
Yeah.
There really are. So it's like, as you say, whether it's career or you're in business for yourself, it's going to dominate a lot of your time and energy. So I truly do live by the motto of life is too short. Really life is too short to be miserable. So I don't have a lot of toleration for being miserable. I really don't. I don't do it well. Of course, I'm a human being and I get in I have my bad days, but I'm always around, how can I improve this? How can I make it better? How can I feel better about this? And sort of empower myself to take that next step.
Perfect. Well, that'll be a great transition into the next question. So I always ask all of my guests, I throw a bit of a spanner in the works. So obviously from my career counseling or counseling background, there's a question that I like to use with my clients called the miracle question. So imagine if you went to sleep tonight and overnight a miracle had occurred. When you woke up the next morning, everything you ever wanted to achieve in the world or anyone you wanted to impact in the world could come true. What would be the massive impact you'd want to make on yourself or the world? And why would it be so important to you?
Gosh. I know, this is such a great question. And honestly, and this is going to sound trite, and it's not. I mean, this is really sincere, because I've actually, obviously, as a coach, I ask those kinds of questions myself, and I've asked that of myself. And at this point in time, the answer is I would want to just be doing so much more of what we're currently doing. There is no big shift, because I truly feel like we're living on purpose, and the business is aligned with who I am. So I really am at that place where now, if we could create a miracle, if I could like blow up our marketing, right, and really have a massive impact, and be, touching, instead of tens of, instead of thousands, let's go to hundreds of thousands, and millions of people worldwide with what we're doing, and get them the access to, our programs and transformation, that would be amazing. Because I know that through our programs, I mean, we're transforming the world through small business, because these are small business owners that are just showing up in a completely different way, right, in their lives, and leading their businesses differently as a result. The other piece that I do feel that would be, I want to have, it's part of our business model, but again, it's not at the extent that it could be and should be, is I would want there to be a much bigger philanthropic arm to that. I said to you, I'm a humanitarian at heart. I mean, I work for humanitarian agencies in the UN, so it's like that's where my heart is. And I do believe that small business has a big role to play in being able to, pay it forwards and give back to their communities. Part of the way that we want to do that, part of the way that we're helping to do that is like teaching people that profit isn't a bad thing, right? Because that's what we see a lot in the small business. It's kind of they're keeping themselves small, and then they feel guilty about having more. Exactly. And so we've got something that we call profit with a purpose. And purpose sometimes can mean our own families, right? It doesn't have to be the school in Africa. But that's something that if I could be really impacting that message, because I truly do believe there are those of us that have so much to offer, yet we're just getting in our own way. And then there are those people that really are unfortunate. They find themselves for whatever reason in dire circumstances, and they really truly do need that helping hand and that leg up and that lift. And so that would be, I'd want to really bring that conversation far more to the table.
That's perfect. What a great response. I love that. It's always a question I love asking, obviously with my clients as well, because it generates ideas and opens up people's mindset without obstacles or without things in their way. And some of the responses I've had, especially from clients, has just blown me away. I never forget, one of my clients who was a barista. He'd done university training. Completed a degree. And he came out of the blue that he wanted to be an architect, design like an incredible architectural studio, have these massive, displays and houses and buildings on display. And I was like, whoa, where did that come from? And he's like, I don't actually know.
I know. It's those things in the unconscious. It's true that you just kind of go, yeah. And that's what I always question. I'm sure you get that as well. When you see people that go, I give up exactly what I'm doing now and go do something else. It's like, well, hang on a minute. We need to chat about this. Because if you really give up what you're doing now, it means you're not in the right place.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a great question.
So, Vanessa, I know we've all got a really positive trait or habit that's really helped us achieve the success or move forward into our life. But we've also got a hindering habit that's kind of held us back or stopped us getting to that extra level where we want. So what would you say would be your biggest positive habit or trait that you currently use? And what would be your most hindering habit or trait?
These are great questions. For the end of the day, you're really getting me.
sparking the neurons.
I know, right? Negative one. What's that one? I definitely think my proactiveness, like positivity and proactiveness, are like really traits that I lead with. I probably, again, often like we take those strengths and traits for granted, right, when they're such a part of who we are. But those are things I consistently get feedback around. And, that does mean that when I have a down day, I bounce back pretty quickly. I can quickly put a positive spin on something, and not in a Pollyanna-ish way. I mean, it's grounded positivity. It's certainly very helpful. It's a great fuel. Gosh, in terms of like negative traits, Like, where do we start with that list? I'm just trying to think of I'm really kind of like, you can see me mentally tracking. How have we got? Because I think I'm pretty honest about my shortcomings as well. I know for a while, and it's still there, so it's never gone. It used to be more crippling. I used to call myself the queen of self-doubt.
Okay.
So self-doubt was really just like playing out the whole time, like, really, can I do this? Who am I to think that I can? Am I up for it? Do I really know what I'm doing? And a lot of second guessing that would come around that. And honestly, just an awful lot of like being in my head and ruminating and overthinking things, because I really was in that place of self-doubt. As I say, that one's shifted a lot simply because there's just so much evidence now. You don't get to grow $1 million business with, not knowing what you're doing.
Exactly.
So, the evidence there has really helped that. But, it definitely is something that it rears its ugly head whenever, or bless its head. Now I have to be nice to it. Thank you. I know you have a positive, don't talk about. I know I know you're friendly, really. You're trying to help me. But of course, whenever I go into something new, that can come up again. And there are still things, and again, procrastination, there are certain things I think a lot of people would say I'm really disciplined, I'm focused. I've had to train myself to be over the years. And again, if I look back to where I've come from, it's night and day. Kind of wonder how I stayed in business in the early days, frankly, because I was kind of so all over the place. But there are times that even now, there's those places that I procrastinate and then I create stress, and it's like, why? And, I still am constantly in that place of trying to look at what is the thread of those things. More and more, I do notice that those things where I procrastinate on are things that it's probably just not my natural skill set, so I think of something recently, we just hired, extra marketing team because I was procrastinating on copywriting. Well, when you need to do marketing, it was really holding things up, and it was like, okay, it's just, it's not a natural skill set for me. Therefore, I'm putting it off because it really feels like a lot of effort.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I feel the same way with marketing as well. It's not like something that comes natural for me. I'm kind of similar to you in that way. My biggest one I know is, I can easily build rapport with people and easily build relationships, and that's what I love doing. And even I remember one of the people who listen to my podcast, one of my audience, actually messaged me saying, I'd love to know how you connect with all these amazing people. And to me, it doesn't feel like it's a hard thing to do. But I guess when other people might not have that skill or trait or strength to be able to do that.
So what's your negative one then, Paul, now that you asked me the question?
I actually relate strongly to the self-doubt one. That has been the one that cripples me. And every now and again when I have a slow month, as I said, the last month's been really slow, I kind of go, is it me? Am I not delivering? Am I not, giving my clients the results I want? I always start second guessing myself. Mm. And I think I first related how to deal with this problem probably about 7 or 8 months ago, when it really hit me hard. And I think one of my friends said to me, he's like, Paul, look at all the amazing testimonials and results that you've got for your clients. Look where they're at now. You just reflect on that and know that you're more than enough to be able to achieve and get great results for your clients. You're doing what you love, and you can hear your passion in it. And I guess I've heard a lot of people say that to me. So it's just reflecting back on, what I've achieved. I think we're so forward paced, we don't actually stop to smell the roses as such,
It's such a good point. And as I say, particularly when you're not sort of, securely on the path, right, that you want to be on. I think that's the piece. It's like you can get glimpses of it in those earlier days, and particularly in business for yourself. And as you say, you can go quickly into that place of, is it a fluke? Did I get lucky? Can I do this again? Actually, how did I do that even? We kind of look back and go, well, how did I get those clients? Yeah. But that's what I said to you. For me, it's been more about really building consistency. Mm. The other piece, actually, just on that subject that I found is a really great, way to deal with it is, frankly, is momentum and speed.
Yeah.
You know, the quicker you go, like the more action that you take, it's like you don't have so much time to be ruminating. And it's almost like there's just not the space for that self-doubt. Because I used to look at like, where does it come in? And the self-doubt would come in these big open spaces when I was by myself. Yeah, but all of a sudden I'd be in front of a client or in front of a, you know, room full of people. It wasn't there. You know, then I was present and I was in the zone. So that's been something where, you know, now I notice if like and again, we've just got a lot of momentum. So like it's naturally there, but I would, you know, always look at where else could I be taking action if that self-doubt was creeping in as a way to just build momentum and sort of not override it somewhat. You know?
Yeah, that's perfect. That just reminds me, like, obviously, when I interviewed Grant Cardone, he had the same advice, which is really cool to hear. He said, cool. Yeah, he said the same thing. He says, if you want to overcome self-doubt, fill your calendar and have no white space on it. Then you'll overcome self-doubt because you won't have time to think about it. That's the way to get rid of everything.
That. You see, there you go. There you go, Grant and I clearly talking the same language.
Exactly. Well, we're just getting ready to wrap up soon, Vanessa, and I've really, really loved our conversation. You've shared so much amazing advice, and yeah, it's just amazing the stuff that you've achieved, and you know the inspiration that you're going to give to my audience, and even to myself. I love podcasting too because I pick up all this amazing advice from people like yourself and learn the lessons that you've gone through. So thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it.
No, you're really welcome. You know, I'll be checking up with you in a week or so saying, so what have you done since, Paul?
That's perfect. I definitely need that. But Vanessa, I'd love to know if there's any parting advice you feel you'd love to share with my audience that's really helped you or really added some benefit to your life.
You know, for me, the really, really big one is like tune into your heart. It's really tune into like, what do you want? What do you desire? What's your heart calling you towards? And then have the courage to go for that. Because if we get into our heads, we're going to overthink things. We're going to go into analysis paralysis. You know, use the head, the great head and the brain to like build the strategy and the plan and think through the next action steps. But it really starts with what do you want? And dare to allow yourself to dream big. I'm only at the place where I'm at, and you know, by other people's standards, it's small, right? It feels big for me because hey, I was a stay-at-home mom supporting my husband as well in his career for many years, and so this does feel like a big achievement, and yet I feel like we've only just scratched the surface, frankly. And again, I'm only at this place because I dared to dream so much bigger than I was actually feeling at the time, and to keep tuning into that, and honestly, that would be my golden nugget of advice.
Wow, that's really powerful. I love that. That's some of the best advice I think I'd heard. So simplified as well, and really narrowed into like a great way to put it forward. And I think, like you said, a lot of people let their mind overtake their heart. They don't listen. People don't listen to their heart when that's where all your energy is coming from. So yeah, that's really great. Well, Vanessa, thank you again for agreeing to be on the show. I'd love to know, where's the best place for my audience to reach out to you? Say if they want to get on board or find out a bit more about your services or your courses, where would be the best place to get in contact?
Absolutely. You know, best place is to go straight to our website, vanessashaw.com. And there, I think it even says, you know, are you willing to be bold and play bigger? And of course, they should say yes. And, you know, if you say no, I don't know what you get if you say no. But if you say
it's a mystery prize.
It's a mystery prize. I'll probably put something funny there. Who knows what it is, the booby prize. Yeah. But if you say yes, then you're going to be, you know, opting into our freebies and goodies. And we put out inspirational stuff, weekly wisdom tips, short things, you know, videos. And it's the best way to find out what I'm up to in terms of events. And we're going to be hosting a whole load of new webinars coming up as well, particularly for business owners. So those are just great ways to stay informed. Of course, people can find me on Facebook as well. My page is Vanessa Shaw Business Growth Mentor. So again, if people find me there, LinkedIn, I'm pretty active as well. So those are some great starting places, easy places to connect with me.
Definitely. Thank you again, Vanessa. I've absolutely loved our conversation. You've been an incredible person to talk to. And yeah, just I've loved hearing your journey. It's been really insightful and yeah, it shows the power of what you can achieve. I think you're going to achieve many, many more incredible things and, you know, affect the lives of millions of people. So yeah, I can't wait to see your journey heading forward as well.
Oh, thank you. Well, listen, from my heart to yours, thank you so much as well.
And guys, stay tuned next week where I've got another incredible guest to bring you that's going to help you smash through those levels in your career. So stay tuned then. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. As a listener to the Career Breakthrough series, you can claim this amazing discounted bundle price of $197 for all 3 of our amazing career development courses. The courses involved in this package are Mastering a Killer Career Mindset, which is going to help you uncover and remove limiting beliefs that are holding you back in your career. It's also going to help you reframe any negative thought patterns and have you start forging an unstoppable positive growth mindset. The next course we've got is Uncover Your True Career Needs, which is going to help you get crystal clear on what you really want out of your career to ensure maximum fulfillment and satisfaction. It's also going to help you be confident in what makes you unique and stand out in the workforce. As well as this course, included in this bundle, is Unleashing Your Formidable Strengths and Skills. This course is going to help you to uncover and utilize your amazing strengths and skills and teach you how to use these to position yourself as a standout candidate or employee. It's also going to enhance your strength to capitalize on career opportunities and remove any threats and surpass any weaknesses to fast track your career success. So guys, take advantage of this amazing offer. As I said, it's for the listener to this show only. It's a $94 saving. So if you head to the link above, which is bit.ly/career bundle 1, CAREERBUNDLE and the number 1. So just again, guys, it was bit.ly/CAREERBUNDLE1. Guys, be sure to jump on this. It's an amazing opportunity that's really going to help you fast track your career success and get into a career you truly love. Thank you again for tuning in. I can't wait to share another incredible episode with you next week, so stay tuned then. Thanks a lot.